So, hello everybody. In the previous week there were no streams, or maybe there was one, because I was out of town, spending time with my family, but now back to business. Let's solve some problems. There is this Atcoder problem checklist. Let's see what I can do. I didn't plan anything particular. Let's solve something old. In the very first round, I didn't solve A and C. But what about this one? I guess yellow means that I tried it. So was there a contest where I solved D and F? That's crazy. If yes, then maybe let's try this ABC. Or B here is missing. Yeah, let's do those very single problems. Like C from here, B from there. Those are two problems to solve today. Hi, gorgeous. Cool nickname. All right. I'm pasting link in the chat. Oh, no link yet. That's not true. Why didn't it work? Maybe some cache issues. Alright, there's a robot to clean the room and pieces of trash, some positions, move everything to 0. Hey Felix, how are you? Okay, something is wrong with the bot. The link command doesn't work even though I updated it. So maybe something wrong with their server. Of those hosting the bot, I guess. Ah, now it works. Cool. So let's start. X points of energy to pick up a piece of trash or put pieces of trash in the trash bin. Robot consumes this square points of energy to travel when carrying K pieces of trash. High ellipsoid. Minimum amount of energy. Will it be true that we always take some intervals? I think it's a fair assumption. That we go to some place, then we get back to 0. From this we go to somewhere, we get back to 0. I don't think it makes sense to take a piece of trash and then leave it in some other place other than position 0. Oh, anyway, it is not allowed. Not allowed to put pieces of trash anywhere except in the trash bin. Right, then as we go to the right and we collect some of them, I think, yeah, it doesn't make sense to take like 27, then this, then that. No, let's just take an interval. Looks reasonable. And now n square will be some formula. What formula? If 0 is somewhere here, but we focus now on this interval, and there are some values, we will move to the end, then pick up trash here, then pick there, there, and here, and move to the left. Something like that. This distance is covered. Let's say that this is A4, then 5, 6, 7. We will travel A7 plus, then this will be times 4 plus 9 times this distance plus 16 times this and plus 25 times that. Maybe it's possible to simplify it. This, every unit here, this part, it gets 16. It's almost the number of pairs on the right. Alright, this is something like... Alright, what about this? I can write down the differences between consecutive AIs, like A7 minus A6, this, that, and then it will be the last difference times 4 plus the second last times 9, 16, and so on. I wonder, maybe... If values were up to n, I would say that maybe we will not take a lot of consecutive values. Maybe we should make a brute force, but only consider short intervals. Because if we take a lot of trash at the same time, the multipliers will become huge. If we just go back and forth, we limit the answer to be n times 10 to 9th. By collecting a new piece of trash, or maybe this. Let's say that we move from left, we collect something, something, then we get back to 0. Finally solve the whole set in division 3. Congrats. Interview. Final result said I have 0%. Do you know why? Wrong solution? Like you didn't pass tests? I don't know. Ask them. The fact that we decide to also take this will increase the score by, so normally we would have this times 4 times 9 times 16, and this part is now times 25 minus 16 times this distance d, versus if you just go back and forth, you will pay 5 times d. Oh, this is very easy. Right. If you consider some interval of taken pieces of trash, if you decide to take one more element, and then the score increases by something because this thing gets bigger multiplier. But if you instead take this piece of trash alone and go back to 0, you will pay 1 times d while going to the right and 4 times d while going back, so it's 5 times d. So here this is bigger than 5, so it never makes sense. I think that the intervals we should consider are only of size 1, 2, and maybe 3. Yeah, 3 will not improve anything. If we already took 2 elements, then this has multiplier 4, 9. That's suspiciously easy. Wait, this is 4, this is 9. It seems that I proved that we won't even take 2 in a row. Four. Let's work with an example then. Let's say that we have here 8 and 10. If we go like that, we will pay for that 50. And if we go like that, we will pay 8 plus 4 times 8. So that's 40. Versus if we go like this, so if we go like that and then pick up trash, go there, we pay 10 plus twice 4, that's 8, plus 9 times 8, 72. This is indeed equal, both equal to 90. So it seems that we shouldn't even take 2 pieces of trash at the same time. Something's wrong with my math. B equivalent to division 1b? Not really. Atcoder problems are usually harder. There's also this to pick up trash or to put it down, but that doesn't matter. Oh, there's also some cost of putting stuff down. X. I see. So every new trip, everything will be picked up once, that's x times n, but also to take a new trip, we pay for that. All right, fine. So we can treat x like an extra cost of starting a new trip. If x is small, then this is fine. We will only take like 1 piece of trash at a time. But when x is high, then we should just do 1 big round trip. I still hope that maybe it's enough. I aim for something like n squared of n, but it doesn't seem possible. Yeah, x would need to be smaller. Or maybe? If that's true, by the way, then can I solve the problem? Can I express this easily? It's the sum of... Oh, what about this? 6 here has 9 times 4, so this is 5 times a6, that's the difference of those two elements, plus 16 times a5 minus 9 times a5, that's 7 times a5. And if this is a long sequence, it will be consecutive odd values. 9 times a4 plus 11 times a3, because the difference between two consecutive squares is equal to an odd number. Like 4 square minus 3 square is equal to 3 times 2 plus 1. Have 5 times this. There's also 5 times a7. We can everything is at least multiplied by 5, so maybe we can treat this as some kind of constant. If we get rid of element 5, then this becomes But A6 is without any extra multiplier. 5 times A7, 5 times A6. Oh, right, cool. So this is 0 times A7 plus 0 times A6 plus twice, but let's say we also divide by 2. So plus A5 twice A4, 3 times A3, let's say like that. That's very easy sum to compute. So for sure we get the sum over 5 times every element, but also if we decide to do some interval, we add this plus x for putting down the trash. And also we need to increase the answer by x times n because everything will be picked up once. All right, then if I write down those values ai, I need to split them into some intervals, and then if I decide to do this interval, I will add to the answer this times 0, this times 0, times 1, times 2. Also multiply, everything here is multiplied by 2. Let's say we do this, then also times 0, times 0, 1, 2, and 3, 0, 0. Help me with problem G from ongoing division 3. I know you from my streams, so I will not ban you, but don't say shit like that. Oh, I didn't. I know, I did ping on Discord. I'm kidding. Oh yeah, I know that you're kidding, but other people might not know that. So maybe some kind of DP here from the right, or will we have linear functions here? I can query for this kind of interval, so I can do n square or n times the interval length. If some interval is very big, and instead I decide to split it into 2 parts, then before it was like 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, then here 6, 7, 8, and now this gets down to 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. If those were 2 parts of length k, then every multiplier here gets decreased by around k, and every value here, like if it's at least 1, 2, 3, and so on, then the sum of those values, like it's at least 1 and 2, 3, 4, and so on. Things in the input are distinct. So it increases or actually decreases the score by at least around k squared. So I think I proved that interval size is at most square root of billion, square root of x, but that's too much. Code versus educational was fun. Go over F and G. Not today, I will do some Atcoder problems. You know, Atcoder problems, at least there's only like 1,000 of them, or not 1,000, 300. So I can try to solve them all. In code forces, just too many. Oh, there is partial scoring. Well, so I can do that. I can do n square or n times square root of x. It's the first problem I'm solving today, yes. But it's second problem of that contest. It's a very old contest though. It's Atcoder 27. I just scrolled through my problem history and noticed problem B that I couldn't solve during a contest. I apparently solved A, C, D. I skipped B. Which might mean that it's hard for me to solve. All right, what else? What else can there be other than the fact that intervals should be short? Are those linear functions? If I'm up to here, then so far those, let's say they have multipliers times 2 and times 1. And when I move forward by 1, I should increase this sum. So I can say that this is some kind of function x plus b, where a is the sum of values here, b is the sum of values with multipliers on the left, or just, let's say, a pair AB. And then as we add a new element, it will move to sum of values a plus new element x. Let's say this is x, this is x, and a plus b, maybe plus x. We never want to skip a piece, right? I think so. I think we split into intervals. I didn't prove that, but I think problem would be crazy without it. Without that assumption. So we need to collect all the trash. Just I assume that it's good to split it into intervals, and every interval we deal with a single trip. Big fan, keep it up. Thank you, magnific penny. We have, I believe, a property that the further we finish, the more to the left will be the previous split. And there are some algorithms that use this fact, like divide and conquer DP. If we, as we go like this, if for this position I knew that I will get optimal answer, I mean optimal score so far, if the previous split was here, then for this new position I will just try left, I mean the last interval I will try to be here or more to the right, like that. Idiot gonna be better. I know. If you want to be mean, at least try to be funny. N squared dp is simple? Yes, that's right. View from Iran. Hi. Convex hull optimization makes sense? Yeah, it would be nice. Let's try to write down some formulas. But yeah, if you deal with some kind of linear functions, like here we multiply every next number by 1, 2, 3, this kind of linear stuff often turns into a convex hull. I just thought that it doesn't make sense, but let's write down some stuff. dp up to some kind of I is max over dp of j, where j is to the right, plus, let's say that it's just this. Let's ignore this single zero. I don't think it will be very tricky. Let's go with this. dp of j plus x, the cost for starting a new interval, and this thing. Is it better to go from left to right? I don't think so. Plus let's say that we computed some big prefix sum that knows this element times 1, this times 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is also equal to the index. And we are here, let's say I, this is j. So we can grab this. We can say that this is 8 times sum from j plus 1 to I, 8 being I. So this would take all of them times 8 minus this red thing, red sum from j plus 1 to I. Is that correct formula? This will give us proper multipliers from 3 to 0. I assume that there is no 0 like that. Yellow stuff is unnecessary. Shouldn't it be x times I minus j? Oh yeah, at the end I deal with that. At the end, print answered plus x times n, because we pick up every trash, and also 5 times sum AI. Only then multipliers transform into that. Are we adding x? X is for putting down the trash. So starting every new trip, so cost of interval is x. But x is also cost of picking up something, but everything will be picked up once. Hence this. And this just came from formula from the previous slide, where everything is multiplied by 5, just increased by this, that. Oh, also there is this times 2. All right, plus twice this. Right now, is this convex hull? There are some constant parts. Well, there's x. This is sum of I minus sum of j. Need to decrease the font. Minus twice red sum of I plus minus red sum of j. Red sum is just sum with those multipliers. Fifth element is multiplied by 5. Twice I sum of I. Sum of j. And now we group this into elements corresponding to I, j, and both. So we do what? Oh yeah, just whatever is just for I, we can move outside. This part, it doesn't depend on j. And this part, twice red sum of I. And minus twice I sum of j plus twice red sum of j. Let b of j is this. Let a of j be just sum of j. Then we have here, this line transforms to dp of I is constant, depending on I, doesn't matter, it's this, plus max over what? B of j plus a of j multiplied by twice I. If I didn't make a mistake, then we're good. Because this is this is convex hull. Even more, I bet that values aj are increasing. I is increasing as well. B of j, I think that should increase too. If yes, then we can keep the best j so far as some kind of a stack. It will pop from it. Sum and red sum and prefix sums. Yeah, sum is the prefix sum of values ai, and red sum is prefix sum of values. So sum of I is a of, let's say we went from 0, I don't know. Those are definitions of sum and red sum. And I think that's the solution. Turned out very easy. So this we take from convex hull, and then this constant is just something depending on I. Monotonic stack of lines should work. Yes, it should. And as we move with I, we will keep popping the last line if the second last line is better. Right? What we take maximum. What is going on? Slopes are increasing or not? Yes, they are increasing. So first we have something like this. That's strange. Why can't people subscribe or share bits? Because I'm not a Twitch affiliate. Oh yes, we minimize. That makes more sense. Because we minimize the total cost. I wanted to say that it seems that I should just grab always the first line. Alright, if we minimize and the slopes are increasing, then it's like this. First line, second line, third line, fourth line. Well, slopes can't be... No, wait. Slopes are increasing. Let's say that they can be negative as well. As we move to the I, with I, yeah, okay. The order was, this is first line, second and third. And if the current I is somewhere here, then yeah, for this I, the third line is optimal. But when we move to the right and eventually second line will become better than third, because I only moves to the right, we can forget about line 3. So lines 1 to 3 are in a stack, and we will keep popping the last line. Because slopes are strictly increasing, always when a new line comes, we just insert it. Should we possibly pop the second last line? Or is it unnecessary? Let's think, there's a new line coming. If it's like that, then sure, everything is fine. What if this new line, line number 4, is like this? Do I need to pop line 3? Or will everything be alright anyway? I need to say that 2 is better here, and I need to keep comparing. Yeah, I need to pop 3. So just like in a convex one. Boy sneezed and the board is filled with ancient alphabet letters. Pause the stream to catch up what's happening. Well, on Tuesdays I do very difficult problems. If you are not good at competitive programming, you will not be able to easily understand stuff. So yeah, this stream is not for beginners. All right. Before implementing, let's take a look at editorial to see if that's the solution. But I think I got the solution. I will still implement. In Atcoder, I want to get accepted for every single problem. I think my first idea was correct. It seems that we should only consider some few interval lengths. It consists of k phases. In each phase, the robot starts from origin, takes a subset of trashes, and returns to the origin. Oh, I think we don't deal with intervals, do we? Right. Damn it. So my solution is completely wrong. When we choose some subset of trash, we get multiplier times 5 for the last one, then times 5 times 7 times 9 and so on. Because the multipliers grow, it's stupid to use just this interval. It's better to assign it like that. Let's say this blue thing is one trip, then this is the second trip. No, let's say that nothing else exists. But this is for sure better. We can make it regular, just yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue. As the editorial said, the last 2k elements, if k is the number of trips, gets 5, then 7, 9s, and so on. K, K, K. I would spend a lot of time implementing this only to get wrong answer on, I guess, sample tests. Yeah, and now k can be from 1 to n. But for each k, we can deal with it by, like, each such interval we can do with prefix sums in constant time, so it's the sum of n over k, but it's the same as sum over, so sum from 1 to n over this, n over k is the same as sum of what? Well, it's just n log n. Remove glasses once. Can you stop spamming things unrelated to the stream? How long did you master data structures and algorithms? Around 10 years. Yeah, so let's implement this, but I'm sad about spending 40 minutes and solving a wrong problem. What was the mistake? The mistake was the very first assumption that we should take intervals. We shouldn't. But if there was a problem where we need to take intervals, then yeah, I solved it. Damn it. All right. Let's code. Damn, I'm disappointed. This is why we should prove intervals, I guess. Yeah, it seemed intuitive and actually it isn't at all, because we travel along interval with big multiplier. You need a mod. I used to have mods. I just chose them among active members like a year ago. I guess I need new mods. In past 2 or 3 weeks, I didn't have time to do anything about the streams, like, you know, improve the layout, get mods, anything like that. Just was busy with other things. But apparently I should have proven the intervals. I don't know what I have in Genie, like the last open files. Sometimes it's confidential stuff for work. Right, this is B. I now opened virtual machine because I can only program in Linux. I always do hard problems on Linux. Innopolis problems this year? I don't know. Those are good Olympiad problems. I'm not really practicing for Olympiad. I teach for Olympiad, so maybe I go through them in order to talk with my students. Tips? Well, solve problems. You can read this. And I was going to start using this. And scene is more convenient, easier to read. X of n and there is x. Maybe let's call this position, and this will be uppercase x. K is the number of trips. Then the last twice k elements will be taken with multiplier 5, and then k with 7, and so on. For that, I think it's better to reverse it and say the first 2k with that multiplier and so on. Let's say that next for 0, next is smaller than n is equal k. I now say that everything from next to next plus k minus 1, this is one interval, and it will have some multiplier. Multiplier is so what I want to get 5, 7, and so on. Twice next plus 3. If next is not this, twice next minus. Let's go with this. Multiplier is 5. Next is not 0. Multiplier plus equals 7. Okay, that's nice. So this interval I need to take with multiplier that is here. Is 0, not 0. I think x times n. This is obligatory for taking the trash. And also the number of trips. For every trip I put down the trash, and that's also the cost of x. Let's go with brute force just to... okay, let's go with brute force. Position of I, long, but this we need to change later to prefix sums. Oh, x is in the first line. Nothing printed. Well, three, 5, 5, 3, 5, 5. This is not correct, is it? Yep, so wrong answer for the third Sample test. At least I know that it's not an issue with prefix sums, because there are no prefix sums. My answer is too big or too small. That might help. My answer is very, very wrong. This is 150 million, and I have 157 million. So I don't consider something. Positions are sorted. They are. Oh, k isn't length. K is the number of trips. All right, then because it's a number of trips, so biggest k elements, they get 5, then 5. All right, this is good. What's wrong? Brain drag use among competitive programmers? I don't know about any. You can eat a chocolate bar, drink energy drink. Does that count as a drug? Is it small enough to debug it? It isn't. I wonder for what k we should get this thing. Everything will be picked up once, and they are k trips. For each of them we put stuff down. Multipliers are 5. Why is the second one 5 too? Shouldn't second one be 9? Yeah, why is this 0? Five times a7 plus 5 times a6. Why? Well, I guess it's all right. Where is English editorial for this? In editorial section? Am I the most active person on your Discord? I don't know. Alright, so Yuvrai, sorry. I think you are one of the first people to get permanent ban. Please don't spam so much stuff unrelated to the stream. I don't know what's wrong. Let's open the editorial. Coefficients are 5, 5, 7, 9, and so on. Some values of k you may get values greater than the limit. Yeah, but this is a small test, right? This cannot exceed longs. My program would warn me about it anyway, so that's not the case. Hate competitive programming? You submitted wrong with wrong language. Well, I don't know why you would spend 1 hour on something in compilation error. Like, come on. Notepad++, yeah. So it's like, let's say you write an essay and you're able to do it in Microsoft Word, in Office Word, so that it would underline all the mistakes in red, but you decide not to do it. You prefer to do it on paper. You submit and you are surprised that you made mistakes. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong. Where am I? Please somebody tell me, what did I do wrong? Iterate over a number of trips. Initial multiplier is 5. Then if next is 0, then it will keep being 5 for the next k numbers. But then, all right, this is 2. We increase multiplier by 2, not by 7. More than 100 people watching in total, Twitch plus YouTube, and nobody noticed. I'm disappointed. Also in myself. Right, now this should be prefix sums. Right, and this is from this to that position. Interval sum is pref sum up to r minus pref sum of l minus 1. And as they warned us, this can overflow. So how to deal with overflows? This is small enough. I think that's the only issue. Pref sometimes multiplier. I guess the easiest way to deal with that is to turn it into int 128. But to refresh my skills, I will later try to do it in some other way. Right, give me a C. Pretty please. We don't choose C++ version. What happens when you resubmit the solution in division 3? I don't know. Are there rules in contest announcement? When lead code? Thursday. Every Thursday I do lead code. Except for previous week because I couldn't do streams. Blame the color. The color of 2 and 7. Those are similar digits. All right. Now, how to do it without int 128? So just like a small challenge, but also so that I would remember how to do stuff. This can be just long. Let's create two functions that will use addition and multiplication with minimizing this to infinity. What can I do here? I could first of all check this, something like if a plus b smaller equal a plus b. What do I want? Oh yeah, I think something like that. This checks properly if there is no overflow. I believe. It overflows sometimes, and this is undefined behavior, but almost always it just gives you a negative value. While it's undefined behavior, I don't think it's possible that it will do anything else. So this should be good. I will try. I will submit this. What about product? Can we get negative values? I don't think so. If one of them is 1, then this. Otherwise, I need to check if this is the case. So if a is at most this. I don't remember if we need to check both. I will think about it. This is actually to check with 0. For 1, everything will work properly. Modular int in template? I don't, but I need to create one. Win the first programming competitions? No, it's always about scale, something local, like in my city. I think after 1 or 2 years of programming, I was the best of my age in my city. But, you know, it was after I was already very good at math. You missed me? Thanks. Right, I messed up. 2 tests are wrong. Well, good to know, because I need to know how to do stuff if there is no int 128 present. Perfect sum doesn't exceed, right? Yeah. This doesn't exceed. Addition and multiplication. Is it possible that, let's see, for something like that, 10 smaller equal, this is not true. I wonder if we have overflow, or actually, or I have too small of a value. That's the answer. Listen to music when you grind some problems? Very rarely. And no, I didn't live in Warsaw for my whole life. Can values be negative? No. What's going on? Let's say that those values are all as big as possible. Runtime error. Oh yeah, that's actually as predicted. This can give me an overflow. Just I expect this to then return infinity. This is rounded down. So it's harder to achieve this. It is possible that some two values have small enough product. If a times b is a bit smaller than infinity, can this be a minus 1? No, I think this is a good check. Let's consider some cases where there are rounding issues. Inf is 95, b is 10. Then for up to 9 this is good. From 10 above it's not good. Yeah, this is fine. And actually I even think that this is good enough. We don't need to check both. I don't know. Let's try to do this without an overflow. A plus b smaller equal infinity. We can do a smaller equal infinity minus b. And actually I'm reading the input. Remember that, in upsolving, what I'm doing now isn't that I just won't accept it. And you should keep that in mind while practicing too. You want to learn new stuff. If you are not familiar with something, practice it more. And here I didn't remember how to implement those functions without int 128, so now I'm trying that. All right, let's try the old version of addition. If I get wrong answer, it means that the addition was wrong. Otherwise, multiplication was apparently wrong. So this addition is wrong? How? I know that it's undefined behavior, but still, how? If there's an overflow, then this gets negative, and it will be smaller than a or b, or both. Oh, maybe compiler optimized this. Maybe it assumed, okay, there is no overflow, and if in some way here it understood that some value is non-negative, then it just straight removed this if, and it always returns a plus b. That's possible for like high optimization like O3. My nickname doesn't have any meaning. I see. All right, so let's go with that. For non-negative values, it should work. Right, yeah. I just want to make my last submit to be accepted. Not that it doesn't matter, but whatever. Oh, an hour and 10 minutes for this. Right. So what more problem? It should be something easy. As I would like to keep my streams around hour and a half, 2 hours. That was from 27, right? Yeah, garbage collector. I was going to do 3 shortcuts, I believe. Maybe something easier. Not really. Funny, that's the very first problem in Atcoder I didn't solve. So maybe let's try to do it. So far only 1, 2, 3, 4 contests fully solved. But well, problems F are very difficult. You need to spend a lot of time and read the tutorial, unless you're very, very good. I'm not that good. All right, let's try A. Nope, link is not updated. All right. Why doesn't this work? Yeah, improve for math. Practice is indeed a good answer, but for math you also need to know stuff, and I don't know the best way. Damn it. I don't know the best way to learn math. I would say practice in school. I mean, you have some classes, you have some book with exercises, go through that. If you're now in university but you feel that you don't know enough math, go to the last go to the last book you had in high school and solve some problems. Snook is having a barbecue party. At the party he will make n servings of skewer meal. Length is li. Wait. First and third. Do we just sort and take every second value? What is this? 1 plus 3. Let's verify that. Plus 15 plus 58 plus 58. Okay, so did I participate in this contest? I'm not logged in. I think I didn't participate. So it's just that I solved some of other problems, but 3 of them? I just want to see people from Poland. Is that possible? Or what about my submissions? 13, 12. Okay, 2 different days. Then I was just solving some problems. Yeah, I expected some hard problems. Well, easy but still hard. Here, no, whatever. Let's do this then. Sort and take every second value. I don't take the last element because it cannot be paired up with anything. What happened? A is not sorted. Yeah, what after sorting? Something is wrong. Yeah, n is twice bigger. Oh, so right. I again made a mistake where I used the wrong number. Previously I took 7 instead of 2 because I was thinking about 7, and here the same. It's 5, it should be 10, and I multiplied by 5 instead of multiplying by 2. Alright, this should work. Yes, should work. So then I don't care about this because everything can be paired up. Oh, then now we can as well try to solve C. Fine, A done, C, right? Or is it solved? Yes, C is missing. But also then F is missing, but I'm not doing F today. Why is link disappearing? Is this Atcoder feature? Something from Chrome? Given a tree, let the distance be the number of edges, diameter is maximum distance, diameter should be at most k. Remove vertices so that diameter would be k. I mean, decrease diameter down to k. Fine. Simple statement. That's very nice for the purpose of any kind of stream. Right. Given a tree, how to decrease the size, the diameter of this down to, let's say, 4. There is some diameter. We can leave only interval of it. Maybe I should consider possibilities like leave this, leave this, leave that. Is that enough? Obviously, I will leave an interval, but maybe I should leave only 3 vertices instead of 4. I assume that 4 vertices are allowed, but maybe it's better to take this and grab something like that. I want to leave as many vertices as possible. But if I take 3 and then I take some neighbor, let's say, of u, then as well I can take this guy. If I don't take any of those neighbors, then everything is fine unless I take something here. I think that this is good. Again, not a proof, but should be fine. If yes, then we consider all such intervals of length exactly k, and the maximum allowed length. So we can, like a sliding window, but we can do it slowly. And we, like, if we grab, let's say, 4 vertices like this, or let's say 6 because k allowed 6 vertices, then we also allow to take this, that, like everything that will not exceed diameter. So if you are 2 units away from the end of diameter, then you can also grab here any subtree with length at most 2. Maybe we should iterate over middle. Oh yeah, let's do that. Okay, never mind. This is much easier. Forget about knowing diameter of a tree. Every tree has some kind of middle for all its diameters. Let's say that K allows us to take 4 vertices, so 3 edges. Then for sure there is some kind of middle, maybe here, and this means that in every direction you can take 2 vertices at most. So if this is the middle, you can take those vertices. If K is odd, the number of vertices is odd, then the middle thing is a vertex, not an edge. Easy. I mean, very nice problem. Cute. Odd diameter, even diameter, yeah, that's some casework. I don't think it should be called centroid, but indeed, it's nice. So yeah, Sahil, I didn't see your comment before, but great minds think alike. K is number of edges. Yes, K is number of edges. And -1. Alright, now if K is even, this means middle is in vertex. Also, I would like to have like one code, not really 2 separate codes. What can I do? I can say that maybe instead of DFS, let's do BFS. That's a good idea. Let's create a queue. No. Let's now create a function that gets starting vertices and the distance that we can cover. Count vertices at distance at most. I mean at most allowed distance from one of vertices in starting. And then if K is even, middle in vertex, then for every vertex we consider starting from it and allow the distance from it is K over 2. This is otherwise middle in middle of edge. Iterate over edges and consider edge first, edge second. And what kind of distance? Let's take an example. For K equal to 3, from each of them I want to make at most one more step. So just K rounded down. K over 2 rounded down. It's not maybe the nicest code, but let's say that this will update the global answer to then print it. Okay, not declared. I guess it's in the first line. Yeah, NK. Fine, let's just say that this is initial queue. visited. Let's say that n is global, so I could easily use that. For all the starting vertices, it's already visited, and now go through queue. Actually, not visited, I need the distance. Or maybe the remaining distance? No, the distance. Let's say that this is, oh, what do I want to say? 0. By default, everything is -1. -1 is not reached. If distance of B is -1 and distance of A is not the allowed distance, so we can still grow. Think mean number of vertices to remove. Well, I maximized vertices that are left. That's actually extremely common. If you minimize removals, just maximize non-removals. Tests are, I would say, very weak. Only 2 of them, one of them has answer 0. I hope at least that there's even k and odd k. Case 2, case 5. Alright, that's something. But isn't this 5 enough? Okay, never mind. Accepted. Alright, we're at hour and 30 minutes, and if I was solving a problem, I would still continue solving it, but I think we're out of easy problems, and I'm fine finishing the stream. How is the table looking? This is now solved. It will update soon. And then maybe next time let's do this ABC. Still a lot to go. Sometimes it's cool to go to a big contest and, you know, fight against the best. But knowing that there are some people who solved everything here, and most of that was during a contest, that's crazy. Like, almost every problem here, E and F, I need few hours, and sometimes anyway I need to read the editorial. Atcoder is hard. Right, thank you all for watching. I will take a look if somebody is streaming on Codeforces. Yes. Oh, but not in Twitch, so I cannot rate. I can still link. The moralizer is solving division-free problems from today. So go watch him, if you want, of course. E and F of Atcoder Grand Contest are insane. They are, most of the time. Like 90% of the time. Sometimes, just sometimes it isn't. But mostly when I think, oh, it can't be that easy, it is not that easy. Yeah. Thank you for watching today. See you in 2 days for some coding interview problem solving. And then if I don't change anything, on Saturday we'll do, as always, some Codeforces problems. Alright, bye bye, have a nice day, or evening, or night. See ya.